The 212 division, to be or not to be? That is the question that I ask of you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. The 212 debate goes on. Do we need a 212 division? I personally went back and forth a couple of times on this. I'm pretty much settled on where I stand on this now. And recent, we have Flex Lewis and Lee Priest on opposite ends of this discussion. Flex Lewis, 7-time 212 Olympia Champion, obviously is pro 212, and Lee Priest has quite some time in saying we don't need 212 division. He was 5'5", competing against guys much bigger than him, and he says the queen will always rise to the top. Okay. In a perfect world, I 100% agree with Lee Priest that the cream should rise to the top. But unfortunately, when we're judging the bodybuilding, it doesn't always seem to happen like that. The smaller guy really is at a disadvantage. You know, we've got certain criteria that we use to judge the bodybuilding show. Ultimately, what you look for is who checks off the most boxes and who has the least flaws. And then that really should be the winner. But we've seen this happen numerous times. Let's use Shaun Clarida. He's a perfect example. Inch for inch, there's probably nobody who has more muscle than Shaun Clarida. Tremendous conditioning when he steps on stage. It was a couple of years back. I don't remember. I think it might have been 3 years back when Shaun Clarida was standing next to Big Ramy at the Arnold Classic. Shaun Clarida placed behind Big Ramy. What I said before about checking off boxes and the least flaws, Shaun Clarida by far checked off more boxes. Shaun Clarida by far had the least flaws. I mean, if you look at it in that perspective, it was a clear difference between the two of them. Ultimately, Ramy placed ahead. The cream did not rise to the top. The cream in this case, if we compare, there are more examples out there. The cream in this case was Shaun Clarida, and it didn't rise to the top. Now, it's okay if you have bodybuilder A and bodybuilder B. Bodybuilder A is this 280-pound monster, and bodybuilder B is this 180-pound monster. I'm not saying Shaun Clarida's name, although that's about the way he steps on stage at. And they check off just as many boxes, and they both have as little flaws as the other. And you go for bodybuilder A simply because of his stature. I have no problem with that, because everything else is equal. But Lee Priest, I love you, man, but we don't live in a perfect world, and unfortunately, the cream doesn't always rise to the top. And for that reason, we do need to have a 212 division. If the IFBB can miraculously fix this and change the way the judging is done, and the cream actually rises to the top, despite the cream might being outweighed by 100 pounds, then we don't need the 212 division. But until that happens, and I don't think it's going to happen, we will need a 212 division. You can agree or disagree with anything I've said in this video. Please let me know in the comment section. This is Michael Diamond. I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.